York, and I now live in
Yeah.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how are you finding South Carolina now?
It's good. It's good. I live in a very white neighborhood, so it's a little strange sometimes. Because I grew up
Uh-huh.
with like just surrounded by a lot of culture and diversity. So I miss that
Yes.
for sure. I miss my brown and my melanated people. So sometimes it feels, a little bit like I feel like an alien sometimes, but it's a really beautiful, natural, peaceful place.
I love that. I love that. Not that you feel like an alien, but the tranquility and this joy that you find in that place.
Yeah, totally. But it's nice. Yeah, it's very slow, like a slow lifestyle here. It's definitely not a big city life. But tell me about where you live and what it's like there.
I live in Johannesburg, an area called Houghton. That's one of the suburbs of Johannesburg.
Hmm.
It's also quite very quiet, very high walls. You rarely ever see the neighbors. Whenever you do see people that live, when you do take a walk, and you'll see them taking a jog or a walk or walking their dog. So yeah, I think there's some similarities in the spaces that we are living in.
Yeah.
I've lived in not so far from here though. It's like the middle of the city, and it does get busy. I'd actually say just 5 minutes from here, 5 minute drive from here, you are like deep in the city, and you are immersed with all the noises of traffic, or the cultural hot pot that Johannesburg is.
Nice. So it sounds like a good balance. Like when you crave a little culture and a little spiciness, you can kind of tuck into the city. But when you want some peace and tranquility, you have a little safe space to retreat to sometimes.
This is true. This is true. I do appreciate that it's to the busyness, yet it feels like it's so far from it, because at times I wonder, I'm even in the same city, because
Oh wait, hold on.
where
You're cutting
I'm
the audio is cutting
living,
in and out a little. I don't know. Can you hear me right now? Because
you hear
your audio is
the
cutting out a little.
birds chirp in the morning, throughout the day, in fact, because there's quite a bit of um, greenery around us, some trees, some flowers. So I think the birds enjoy that, and I enjoy the birds being around.
Amazing. Is your internet cutting out? Because your voice is cutting in and out right now. I don't know if you can hear me.
Ah, yeah.
Can you hear me clearly? Because maybe.
I can hear you,
Okay.
but also there are some glitches to the audio. So hopefully it's not something that takes
Okay.
away from the conversation that we're having. Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you now. Yeah, but for I think like a minute or two, I heard you kept every other word kept cutting out, but maybe if you can hear on
Are
my
you
side.
hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Hello?
fine.
Ah,
I can hear you.
yes, this. this is what I was mentioning earlier on. My internet has been sketchy at best today.
Yeah. Well, if you can hear me, I can.
I can hear you clearly. I can hear you
So
clearly.
maybe we can do like I can start with the meditation.
Hmm. This might be something I wanted, or I wanted. Oh, okay, okay. Let's do the let's make the best of this opportunity because, as one of my favorite books says, yes, let's do that.
Okay. So are you comfortable with me starting the meditation?
Yes, I'm comfortable with you starting the meditation. Please go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Um, Amazing. Well, first of all, I'm just so delighted and honored and excited and hyped and lit up from inside to be sitting with you and to be sharing tea with you and sharing conversation with you. I think it's kind of really the reason why I found Substack was to make real connections with people from all over the world. And it feels like just perfect to like make a friend like you. And I just first wanted to say that because I feel very grateful to be here. But I'm
Oh,
I'm Aisha. I'm a meditation teacher, and anyone who's like listening, we're just gonna take 10 minutes, uh, sitting in stillness, and I'll be guiding us and anyone who feels comfortable sitting in meditation with us. I do encourage anyone listening to do this with us because it will be just more collectively special and powerful when we meditate together as a community. But if you haven't already, like grab your cup of tea or pause the video and take some time to like make yourself a really beautiful cup of tea. I am
mhm.
drinking a beautiful hot cup of Earl Grey tea. I love Earl Grey tea. And let's first start with the meditation by getting into a comfortable seat. So if you're sitting on the floor, can you still hear me?
I hear
Okay, perfect.
you clearly.
Perfect. Okay,
I hear
so
you.
if you're sitting on the floor, feel free to like really get cozy and fall into the most
Mention
comfortable.
that I've got my cup of tea ready. I'm drinking some beautiful oolong.
Amazing. So also, so if you're sitting on a chair, you want to just come to the edge of the
Yes,
chair.
I'm very comfortable now.
Amazing. So if you're sitting on a chair, you can come to the edge, or if you're sitting on the ground, you can really sit into the seat as much as you can. Find some comfortable blankets or things to kind of fill in any gaps in your seat. So let's just place the cup of tea in front of us wherever we're meditating. And let's take just 2 minutes to really let our mind settle. It's so important when we sit for meditation that we don't go right directly into trying to fix ourselves or trying to investigate anything. It's important to give ourselves like 1 to 2 minutes to really settle our mind and just allow our mind to like air out exactly how it is. This is so important because it trains our mind that our mind is not our enemy. Our thoughts are not our enemy. And there is like nothing wrong with you. There's nothing you have to fix or manipulate, but you can just sit here and be. So let's take 1 minute to just settle our mind wherever we are. Beautiful. And when you're ready, let's just take a moment to look at our cup of tea. So we're going to go through like the 5 different senses as it relates to our tea. So it'll be like a little merge of a tea meditation. So take a look at your cup of tea or your mug and or whatever vessel you have to hold your tea, and like notice the color of the tea and what it looks like. If there's any sort of herbs or grains of tea or leaves in your cup, just take stock of really noticing all the little details. Next, we can use our hands to hold the teacup. So notice what happens when your hands touch the mug or the vessel that you're using for your tea today. What does the temperature feel like in your hands? What is the sensation like when your hand touches the tea?
It's very warm to the touch, very pleasant to have in my hand.
Nice. It's like a nice little hand warmer.
Yes.
Love that. And then let's go into smell. So let's bring the tea as close to our nose without our nose getting in it, and take a moment to really enjoy and relish in the aromatics of the tea. Just take some deep, deep inhales. And take your exhales twice as long as your inhales. So you're going to inhale for 4 and then exhale for twice. So 8 counts. Inhale. Exhale for 8. Let's do 2 more rounds of that. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Last one. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Notice the different notes as if it's like a perfume in your hand. The different notes that you're picking up on. I'm definitely getting a lot of the bergamot essential oil smell from the Earl Grey.
I'm getting the notes. I'm getting some fruity notes. Yeah, a bit of apricot in this tiguan.
Amazing. I love apricot.
Mm. Mm. I love it too.
And then we'll take the best part of tea drinking is the actual taste. So when you're ready, just take a nice, savory, slow sip of your tea. And don't swallow it immediately. Let it kind of sit in your mouth. I know it's not natural to how you normally probably drink tea, but just allow it to kind of swish around in your mouth for a moment and like sit on your tongue, and allow it to just kind of pour into the back of your throat as slowly as it can. Can you describe what your tea tastes like?
I'm getting the floral, slightly grassy notes. I can taste now that apricot that I was mentioning earlier, um, and a slight stringency because I think the water was slightly hotter than it should be, and I let it steep for a little longer than I should.
So it has like that like astringent, like bitterness
Yes,
to it.
yes, but
Mine's is like steeped way too long, and I'm really sad I didn't add any honey to it.
uh-huh.
But I think it's like it's also perfect because you're just like if you're a true tea lover, you'll drink it regardless of if it's perfect or not.
Yes, yes, because it's still a beautiful cup of tea, and I love tea. So, as stringent as it is, I guess I would liken it to our moods. Sometimes we are not as sweet, but the
Mhm.
people that love us as we are.
That's perfect. Yeah. That's there's so much that the tea wants to teach us. And so the last
Mm,
we did our sight, our touch, our smell, our taste. And so the
mm,
last one is the hardest one, which is here. So I don't know if you have, like most of us can't really listen to our tea because it doesn't really have a frequency sound to it. But
mm,
I think something that might be really interesting is in this moment, maybe put the tea down and close your eyes and really think about if you were to like hear your tea, if your tea had something to say or something to teach you today, what would that message be? So we'll take 3 minutes. Both of us will be here on the call, but we'll take 3 minutes of silence to really think about and let that message come to us. So let's just take 3 minutes of silence. And again, think about what the message is that your tea wants you to hear today. So we'll begin our 3 minute silence right now, and I'll come back on the audio in 3 minutes. We have one more minute of silence. Try to go as deep as your mind will take you. Okay, and for the last few seconds, think about maybe dedicating this cup of tea that you've made for yourself. Imagine pouring a cup of tea for someone else in your life, maybe somebody who needs it, needs a little bit of that comfort. So dedicate the practice to them and truly in your mind imagine wherever they are, you're able to like teleport them this cup of tea. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and join us. How are you feeling?
That felt good. That felt really good. I had I appreciate drinking tea, right? And I always try to be in that moment as much as possible, in the brewing of the tea, in the pouring of the tea, and in the drinking of the tea, being aware of each and every step of that process of presence. But the the drinking of the tea as well that you have introduced, the smelling that I was already doing, um, but letting it sit in my mouth, live in my mouth for a little longer, is something beautiful. It's really lovely to experience, and as well as trying to hear what the tea is telling me. There's two things that I picked up. Firstly, it told me that it loves to be shared.
Mm,
Um,
that's such a
a-
good one.
and secondly, that wherever I go, find it. And I think of a quote that goes, "Wherever you go, there you are," right? So just like your presence is everywhere you go, no matter which space, which country, which city you move to, you are there, you are present, and you are a present. And the oolong was telling me today that wherever in the world I go, I will find it because it'll be there waiting for me.
Mm. Ooh, that is poetry. That is so beautiful. I
I'm
love,
glad.
yeah, I love that you shared that. It's such a perfect message. I was nervous about adding the listening to your tea part because I didn't know if people were going to be like, are you crazy? Like your tea doesn't talk to you." But sometimes like my tea talks to me. Sometimes it's talking, but I'm not listening, you know? And um, for me, two messages were coming up as well. And the first one was surrender, just let go of like any trying to figure this stuff out. Like stop worrying about, oh, can he hear me? Can he not hear me? It's like it is what it is. And just surrender. Like allow like the tea is just this beautiful tool of surrendering, of just allow it to be how it turned out and everything will be fine. The second one was um, I can, I'm hearing some music. Um,
He, oh no, it's my housemate. He's
oh,
quite he's
what?
quite animated. He is
Okay.
quite animated.
I was just
Um,
like, wow, someone just started rapping. I thought it was in my.
oh no, it's he's on another phone call.
Oh, okay.
And
That's so
I
funny.
no matter all the time, every single time, it's something that I've gotten to, but I understand that this is the person he is, and trying to control that is trying to control the uncontrollable. So I let
Yes.
it be, and and it if I focus too long on it, then it disturbs my peace. But if I just let it be, then it is what it is,
Yeah.
and he moves to other spaces where he's further from me, and
I'm just
and this 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 is something that I guess it's a life lesson that no matter how much you plan, life will happen the way it wants to happen.
surrender, right? Like,
Surrender,
yeah,
yes, yes,
I
surrender.
think, yeah, I think your roommate is teaching us the same lesson that the tea wants to teach us. Um,
Indeed,
yeah, and
indeed.
I think the last message I got was just like, you can't lose if you try, like
Mm,
can't lose if you just try. And that's the
yes.
message that was coming out for me today.
Yeah. Thank you very much for also um, adding the dedication to the tea and teleporting it to someone who might need it, who might need the warmth, who might need the that kindness. I recently learned that a friend of mine got has and he'll be getting an operation or going through chemo.
Mhm.
I haven't spoken. It was his birthday recently on the 7th of April, actually. So yeah, my dedication and my tea was going to him. Was
Mm,
going to him. Yes.
yeah, it's perfect. I'm
Yes.
sure I know sometimes it feels silly when we dedicate in our mind, but, like, I truly believe, like, that they're randomly going through their day and they just feel this little warmth that comes into their heart and it's, like, from you. So I know your friend is just, like, wherever he is, he just felt this, like, little spark of love and that was coming from you, but he doesn't know, so it's kind of like we're secret, like, magicians, you know?
Oh, I love that thought. I love that because I strongly believe that energy is something,
Mhm,
vibrations are very strong.
mhm,
So you're right. If I'm able to keep him in my mind and present in my thoughts and present in this moment that I'm having, there's somewhere or another that he might be feeling the feeling or getting a thought about me and thinking, oh, this and that about me, whatever the case might be. It is really something special. It is really a moment of or rather a practice that I will be adding to my tea ritual from now on.
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Your
Thank you
room
very much for that.
your roommate is cracking me up so
He is going crazy. He is going crazy. He is super animated.
it's like you both are, like, yin and yang. It's like,
Yes, this is true. This is true. So I think
love it.
it's part of the understanding of life that it you will be presented with people that are totally polar opposites of you,
Mhm,
and you need to be um allow not even allowing, just let life be,
mhm,
because control things, the more we find ourselves stressed, we find ourselves not in the present and not appreciating the present. Um, and that's something that I always take away from whenever I'm trying to have a silent moment and he's animated and making a noise, either singing or on a phone call. It's just his personality, and I'm not
mhm.
going to try and dim his light at all. I'm just going
Yeah,
to let him shine because he doesn't come into my space and make me want to live the way he wants me to live, you know? So,
yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
beautiful. Can I ask a question?
Um, yes. And also going forward, I believe we'll have a couple of these.
Yeah,
Have a
absolutely.
thing about asking a question to ask a question. Just jump in. Just jump in. Dive in.
You're right, but this is like I was invited to your house in a way, so I feel like I don't wanna, I don't wanna rain on your parade or anything, but,
Okay.
um but my question is just like,
I get.
what brought you to like Substack, and like what are you discovering about yourself through like creating content about tea?
Hmm, that's a good question. For probably close to 6 months of the latter part of 2025, I had been hearing from content creators on Instagram about Substack. And I don't know what the hesitation was. Or maybe it was just not the time for it, and I wouldn't have used it as 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 urgently as I'm using it now, because there's a sense of urgency in the way, in my presence on Substack, and my goals are clearer than ever about what I want to do, what I aim to do with this platform, with this opportunity. And it's happening. I'm connecting with people like you, which I appreciate, and also introducing to tea, because I also believe there's so much that can change in a person's perception when they understand the drink as more than just a drink,
Mm-hmm.
as a moment of reflection, as a moment of presence, as a moment to share with your loved ones. Because I'm also discovering that there's a lot of tea related memories with family members, with friends, that people share with me. My musings or reflections open up people's understanding of something that might seem like that they might have taken for granted in the past, um, and they see just how much bigger it is. There's an article that I started with. I think it was my second article, if not my third article here, which spoke to the Holy Trinity of tea, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how we don't think about the people who pick the tea, who, before even picking, the people who grow the tree, who cultivate and take care of the tree, and then the people who then master the creation of these different teas. Because all of the Chinese teas that we know, the 6 different teas,
Mm-hmm.
from your oolong, your white tea, your green tea, your pu'er, your black tea, all of those teas are from one leaf,
Yeah.
and it's just the processes of how to get them to become a white tea, how to get them to become a pu'er, and that make the tea different. So there's an art in that, and then there's also the people who create the cups and the teapots and the guy ones that we used to steep to make our tea. There's a certain level of presence that they are in that moment with us, as well as the art of brewing the tea itself, brewing a perfect cup. Whether it's perfect or not, there is a certain level of presence in that moment as well. So for me, it's such a special thing to share with people when they're deeper than just that cup of tea that they're drinking. There's been so many steps that led to that moment, and so much careful attention that led to that moment, that also just enhances your appreciation of that moment, that final moment that has been preceded by all of these moments that make it a really, really magical moment.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, I can just feel by your like testimony that like there's just so like what's so beautiful is like you see like the it's kind of like when you're looking at like a gemstone or a diamond, and there's like people can just see it in 2D, or you can see like all the millions of different facets of it, and like you're seeing the tea
Yes,
process and the whole ecosystem of the tea as like the art itself versus like how it's
yes,
usually
yes.
shown as like these fragmented things.
I'm on a call. Yes, excuse me for
No, you're
that.
good. That's so, and then it's so interesting you said that like you are feeling really clear about your goal. What is the
Mhm.
goal?
Like I said, to connect with people,
Okay,
like to
that's
connect as with as many people. T has also showed me something that I love. I love to travel. So the idea that I and already know places before I get to travel to them fascinates me so much. It lights me up in many ways. There's several people that I am following or I'm subscribed to that give me that opportunity to travel to these places that they've met tea and they've enjoyed tea, and I can enjoy that and also just envision myself. It becomes a good practice to get myself to those places, whether it's in the next months or in a couple of years later. But before that happens, I'm already in those spaces. I'm already communicating with the people that can tell me where the good spots are to visit,
yeah, that's
the
incredible.
best teas and all the good food, because that's part of what I enjoy about traveling, the connections. So I'm getting to get the connections before I travel to these places, and that's a beautiful thing about Substack for me. And earlier I was just thinking how um, Substack is not necessarily itself, but the people I'm connecting to or the people that I'm talking to and exchanging ideas with or learning from are all just helping me to be me. I feel like I'm more me now than when I started 3 months ago. And yeah, I'm truly, thoroughly grateful for that.
Mm, I feel the same exact way. That's so stunning because I feel like the more I write, the more I share, and the more I connect to like-minded people, the more I just feel like comfortable in showing up as authentic as I can. And I didn't expect that. I was just like, oh, it's
Mm,
another social media platform
mm,
disguised as a writing platform. But
mm.
I'm realizing, yeah, you nailed like how you describe that is exactly how I feel. Is just I feel more me than ever. And like that's the whole point of living is to feel like the most you possible.
Indeed, indeed, and just get the courage, because something that I'm learning from my housemate is that he's himself all the time. He does not he does not apologize, he does
Yeah.
not ask for permission, and something I feel like for several years in my life, I always wanted to ask for permission or wanted to make people comfortable around instead of be having myself being comfortable and then that trickling out to the people that are around me. So I appreciate that about him and so many other things about
Yeah.
him, that I
Yes.
appreciate. Even the interjections in between the calls or whatever I'm trying to do, thinking that I'm
What is
that him being himself.
what is his name?
His name is Sebo.
Sebo? Okay, because he's like
Sebo.
basically like the third person on this call.
Oh yes, he is. He is. I think on the next call we do have, he would be a great addition already. He's
Yeah.
already an addition to this one, but a willing and knowing addition to it
Yes.
would be
He's
very great.
bringing like he's like the MC or the entertainer of the call.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Between the keynote speakers, he comes in
Exactly.
and shares a moment of even further presence. Because I think the more we try to make things perfect, the more we get away from how perfect the moment already is.
Mm,
Mm.
perfectly said.
Mm, Something I wanted to share before I came into to the meditation that I kept thinking about is that for quite some time I have challenges with like meditating and sort of stilling the mind, and not letting myself carried away with with the thoughts that I have. But another thing is, if I'm timing myself for a certain period of time, um, to get to the end of the meditation, because it's a certain amount of time that you've allotted for it.
Mhm.
So my thinking was, and I think it's something that I learned from one of my favorite philosophers is Alan Watts, and he says that much like music is not the point of music is not to get to the end of the song, but to enjoy the middle part, the start to the end. And
Mhm.
that middle part is the joy of the music. You don't listen to music and think, I can't wait until it ends. You listen to the music because you want to be in that moment. So I think that's what I sort of came in this this collaborative exchange, thinking that the practice of meditating is not to get to the 10 minutes and say I did 10 minutes of meditation. It's being in that between the 1 minute and the 10 minutes, or the 1 second and the 10 minutes, that is the joy of meditation. So I think that helped me a lot to be even more present today and right now in this moment.
Oh, that's that I love this reflection so much. I first of all absolutely love Alan Watts. I think Alan Watts's philosophies are just like lifelong teachers for me. And
Mm,
I also think there's so much connection to, as I'm hearing you describe like meditation and music, I'm just thinking about like how the tea is the same way, and it's like
yes.
how sad I get after my tea is finished, or how like, I really feel like grief and like, low
Uh,
levels of grief. It's not like someone died, but it's kind of like someone died. And
yes.
a part of my joy has been taken away. And um, it, as someone who loves tea, like I think seeing your meditation as no different as drinking a cup of tea, and like, or pouring a cup of tea, and the satisfaction and the pleasure you get from the act itself is what the meditation is for. And I have been, I still struggle with meditation and wanting to like get something like an outcome to happen. I'm like, okay, by 10 minutes
Mm,
or 20 minutes, I need to feel calm. I need to, and the more we
mm,
try to like expect things from the practices that we have in our lives that are really just there to teach us, the more we suffer. Like if we
this
expect
is true.
food to give us something, then we suffer. If we expect music to make us feel a certain way, then we suffer. But if
Mm,
we take it for exactly what it is and have full surrender to like, this moment is a gift, and can I sit back and enjoy this gift that I'm being given? And that could be like focusing on the breath or focusing on the cup of tea or whatever it is. But can we just take each moment as the gift that it is? Because there's so many people, as we get to sit here and have a meaningful conversation, there's people all over the world that are are dying, are not like allowed to enjoy this life, are suffering
mm,
or in pain or struggling with whatever it is. And it is our only job to like find the joy, like find the pleasure in this moment. And even
mm,
when we're sitting and we're getting frustrated or we want something, we have to like let go of that desire. And the more we
mm,
let go of that,
mm.
the more we enjoy the ride.
Sure. I think we miss there's something I've always been thinking, or rather I'm thinking a lot of lately. Um, Language, words,
Hmm.
we don't really delve deep into what they mean. I mean, present, being present also is the name is what we call a gift, what we call something that we cherish.
Hmm.
So if we are not present in the present, then we're missing the gift.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I
Mm,
love I've been seeing that quote everywhere lately. And it sounds, there's just so much language in the world, and like, so much information we're getting on Substack and all of these different channels of communication. But it's like, can we like pluck something and really sit with it? Because the presence is a present is like, there's like 1,000 layers of wisdom in that,
Mm,
and like at different
mm,
places in your life, you will feel it. And then what happens naturally is you're going to forget. And then
mm.
our job is just like meditation, just like with tea, you always come back and you remember who you are. You
Indeed,
remember that the presence is a present. And then we forget who we are, and then we forget about
indeed.
presence. And then we have our
Mm,
job is just returning back to the wisdom and making sure that we're not just enjoying like the words and the the joy that we get from teaching and learning things, but
mm.
keep returning to the same teachings and like find a deeper connection to it.
True, true. I'd like to share a book with you. I don't know if you've read it,
Mhm.
but that book is one of the ways that the things that remind me that there is no moment like this that will ever come. So we need to cherish this, and we won't be the same people. Same clothes and do this next week, or somehow find a way to make it on the 10th of April again, and that 10th of April is a Friday, and we start and do everything exactly the same. There is no way that it is the same people that are experiencing that moment, and that we are going to experience it the same way. There's a quote that in the book that says, a man crossing the river, um, when he crosses that river tomorrow, the same river that he crossed yesterday is not the same man, and that river is not the same river because the water has flowed through that river, so it's different waters, and the man has grown, or has had a different perspective, a larger understanding. It is never the same thing. It is never the same moment. No matter how much you do the same things, it is always a different moment. And that comes from the book called Ichigo Ichie, which
Oh,
is a
beautiful.
Japanese philosophy.
Yeah. Yeah, the Japanese
Mm.
just know what's up. They just
They
so
do.
they're
They do. I
so
think
brilliant. Yeah, that's beautiful.
they are. They are. I wouldn't just say it's the Japanese only. I believe there's a lot of understanding that I've gotten from Confucius, from the other Asian countries that
Mhm.
have so much that place in meditation, in Zen beliefs, in Buddhist beliefs, in Hindu beliefs, all of those spiritual acts of just understanding the mind, how the mind works, understanding life and how life works, and how we can be at peace with everything that happens for us, not happens to us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's wild how deep the Asian culture, like, I don't know if I've ever shared this, but I'm from Bangladesh, and
You haven't shared this. This is new to me.
but Bangladesh is like, tea is like one of our main exports. Like,
Uh-huh.
we're like Bangladesh is like one of the like largest tea populations in the world. And but yeah, like, I mean, I'm so proud that like our like Asian culture and just in general just has so much ancient
Mm.
richness. I think everything either goes back to Asia or Africa, and we should
This is
take
what I was gonna this is what I was gonna bring up, that
yeah,
as
we should
much as
just
I'm
claim
mentioning,
everything.
yes, we should. As much as I'm mentioning Asian culture and Asian
Mhm.
spirituality, there's a lot of African practices, African rituals, African
Yes,
traditions that connect us to the oneness, to and just make us realize how one we are. There's a very, I would say, cliche, but that is so misunderstood in South Africa, in Bantu culture, that says umuntu, umuntu, ngabantu. When, and what that means is you are who you are because of who people are, right? So the people that are in our lives shape the people that we are as well. And when we are kind to others, they'll be kind in return. It has so many layered, nuanced understandings to it that I should probably write a little more about it, but I will send you as much information about that, understanding that umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, and we are because I am because you are.
Yes, I that's actually one of my favorite proverbs. My
Vice
one of
versa.
my closest friends in college is a Ghanaian, and he
Yeah.
he introduced me to that philosophy, and I
Yes.
truly believe in it. Like again, it's like we talked about with presence and present. It's there's so much, the words are so simple, but you will
Mm.
spend your whole life trying to really understand what
The
that means.
lessons.
Because there's
Yes.
so much, it's like an iceberg. There's so much underneath the words that need to be understood. And I love
For
that we're
sure.
like even having this conversation, because one of the my like motivations to start Substack was because I felt very insecure about meditation in terms of like
Mhm.
so I became a certified teacher 2 years ago, and I just
Mm.
kept seeing online, like on all the social media platforms, there were just so many like white meditation teachers, and I couldn't find like a brown person or a black person to
Mm.
do meditation, and I was just shocked because I'm like these are again things coming from ancient, it's coming from like Buddha and like Siddhartha and all these like Asian,
Mm.
Indian, Chinese like lineages, and it's so hard to like in our modern culture, like online, like I feel like the people who have the audacity to really take up space have just been more people of privilege, or more white communities like kind of taking over meditation and wellness practices. And I
Mm.
kind of just was, and there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm just happy that the teachings are being shared. But where
Yes.
my heart hurts is when credit is not given to like the culture.
Mm.
And where my
Mm.
heart hurts is when we water down the practice and we make
This
it
is
into this
true.
little wellness thing. Like yoga in the United States is not actual the yoga that is meant to be practiced like in India. It's a very
True.
different thing. So why I even wanted to start Substack was I planted the seed in my mind that like if I can't find people who look like me who are teaching, then I have to step up and I have to get over my insecurities, my fears, my like wrong stories about like being small, and realize that like
Mm.
I was given this gift of seeing, and my job is to like make these things exist through me. And so
Mm.
when I see other people like you who are also a person of color, someone who comes from culture and really respects culture, is so important that like we not only exist in these spaces, but that we are loud and that we are taking up the space that we deserve to take up. And so it just gets me like so excited and so inspired, and gives me permission to like be more bold and be more audacious in my pursuit when I see other people of culture like reclaiming the culture and really helping move culture forward by having the audacity that like any other person of privilege is taking up themselves. And there needs to
Mm.
be like more leaders that that give the flowers and the credit back to like the original makers of these ideas.
So true, so true. And it takes me back to my hesitation of being on Substack or creating content that is tea related, because I myself became a certified sommelier after I did my tea master course 2 years ago in China, in the Fujian province. And it took me a little while to actually realize that I know what I'm doing. And as much as I don't know, there's other things that I'm sure about, and I'll learn along the way. Which takes me back to your recent article about start messy. I started I started messy. I started not knowing exactly what it is I will be sharing with people, but I just knew that there is something, there is a voice, there is a story, there is a perspective, there is um, that is not out there, that I'm not seeing out there. And if I don't step up, then it'll always be missing. And I've learned that the way I think, the way I understand things is enlightening to other people in so many ways. There's an article, my recent article is about cooking pap and the art of burning pap. And there's so many people that have commented. It's just wild how taking something that is in everyday life for people and finding the lessons in that and being able to share that in a way that they hadn't seen that moment before is enriching so many people, including their their comments and their responses are their own life lessons that I get to learn from, that I get the privilege to be a part of that learning. And if I hadn't shared it, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and it's probably something so natural that you don't even like the things that you think about that you don't even think are special to the world are
True,
special because that
true.
it is like through the lens in which you interpret and see. And I was reading some of the comments from that article that you wrote, and I was just cracking up because people were like, I thought you were teaching, gonna
Um,
I thought this was a tutorial on how to make pop, and you were like just dropping wisdom. And
mm,
it's sometimes so interesting that I've been talking to one of my spiritual friends about this as well, but sometimes you just take the most simple metaphor or thing and that helps people kind of just spark their excitement, or it's like, oh, they're like, oh, I think I'm reading about tea, and then they leave and you're like, you take them through this journey and they get something completely different. And
true.
it's so important that the things that we think are just common normal thoughts that we have can actually be like something that sparks something in another human being that inspires them to like do the craziest wildest thing in their life. And it's not our job to like censor ourselves. Our job is just to like the river that you were talking about, like just let the river flow, like let the ideas come out of you, and don't hoard them or like hold on to them, because you have no idea how you just being a river is going to serve the world. Like you just doing your thing and flowing is going to help
Mm,
unlock something for someone else.
this is so true. This is so true. And I often feel like I took too long, but I also understand that it happened at the time that it needed to happen for me to get on Substack and for me to be to start sharing the way I see life, and the way I perceive things.
Mhm.
Is It's been a beautiful journey, and I continue to be excited about the other things that I will write, or the connections that I will make from the things that I've already written, and the thoughts that I've shared, and the feelings that I've let myself feel and write about. It's such a beautiful journey,
Yeah.
and it's got me to meet you. So
Yeah.
um, there's a lot to it. I really love it. I really
Yeah.
love it.
I got to meet you and almost your roommate.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
That's amazing.
And as relationship builds, we shall be introduced to the other aspects of each other's lives in ways that will enrich our lives as well.
Absolutely. This has been such a spark of joy and has like
Mm,
ignited so much fire in me, and
mm.
just
Me
also
too.
solidified like that if you truly are radiating goodness to the world, like you will find other people who have that same heart and the same goodness within them. And I feel that very strongly with you.
I feel it too as well. Um, it's so beautiful. I've been like going through your content and loving the notes that you share and the articles that you share. And when I thought of people that I'd love to have conversations with over tea, your name kept coming up. Maybe it's the alphabetical order of things, but
I'm happy you didn't
uh,
start with my last name because then I would be last.
this is true. This is true. But luckily, I started with the A, and it's been
There you go.
amazing. It's been amazing, and an awesome experience. And I look forward to continue learning from you, and same space and physically and sharing meditations and tea in person where we are not worried if we are hearing each other. We know for sure that we are hearing each other because we are present, more present than we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting you as well. And like, I'm always down to have tea with you and to make fun of your roommate with you and just enjoy. But I'm very, very proud of you and everything you're doing. And I want you to never stop and keep going as much as you can.
I appreciate that, and I share the same sentiments for you. I think such great work that you will continue to do. There are people waiting to be unlocked by only the keys that you have, and yeah, it's very necessary for us to start engaging in the things that we believe in and being part of the change that we want to see. And the only way we do that is by being the change we want to see.
Yes, Gandhi. End on a high note. I mean, how can you compete with ending with a Gandhi quote? It's
Yes,
But thank you
yes.
so much for having me. And I hope that this conversation is shared with, and lands for all the people who need it and who are lucky to be in your orbit. I'm so grateful.
I am so grateful for making time, for being vulnerable, for leading us in that meditation, for the lessons that you shared, the wealth of knowledge. I am richer for it, and I'm super grateful for it.
Me too, my friend. We'll talk soon, okay?
Definitely. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing this tea on tea with me.
Yes, more vulnerability to come and more
Yes, indeed.
conversations and more cups.
More cups. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
You do the same.